Would you like to know more about communication in your work environment? Then just keep on listening. I'm Ellen Preussing from Lightwings Consulting. And the communication is an integral part of leadership and any sort of collaboration in your work environment. And in any situation, you probably spend over 80% of your working time utilizing communication. You're often just not aware of it. And do you really spend the time and energy on communication that it's supposed to be spent on? Are you really focused on the kind of communication you're having right now? There's always more important things to do, isn't it? Well, is it? As a leader, or even as a parent, as a co-worker, your style sets the course for your team and the development and for all your surrounding. After all, the strategy work, the organization itself, everything has a lot to do with information, with the flow of information, with giving instruction, with receiving instructions. And always keep in mind that through communication, you're also setting goals, you're giving feedback, you're delegating. So if that doesn't work, if this flow of communication gets disrupted, where does it lead you? Do you really don't have time to deal with the communication and learning more about communication? Or is it exactly the opposite? That you don't have time to not spend time on communication? What do I want to say with that? It's quite easy. If you think about the consequences that are getting out of your non-communication style, that can lead to misunderstandings, and there are many misunderstandings in the working environment. But I've told you so. Didn't you do that? Yes, but you've told me I should do this and that. No, I've clearly said no, you didn't. So kind of these misunderstandings, and then then this is the layer, the fundamentals for some conflict development. And if you are aware of all the time you spend on conflicts, especially as a leader, but as well with your colleagues, because they just don't want to listen, they don't want to work with you, they do everything but the thing you've asked them to. And this is usually based on some history of a lack of communication. So, do you still think you don't have time to learn more about communication? There's basic features of communication. And so there's 3 golden rules. The first rule by Paul Václavic. He's probably one of the most known and established scientists in the area of communication. He said, you cannot not communicate. The second rule is that communication can also be non-verbal. The third is, and that's an important one, and I will explain that afterwards. In a conversation situation, you always feel as if you are reacting on what has been said to you. Okay, got it? So the first one, you cannot not communicate, says something about a situation, a person who doesn't open her mouth during for instance, sitting in a bus or you're sitting in a train, you're going somewhere, and this person is not talking to you, it's not talking to somebody else, but still you see that there's some kind of communication, because this person is showing a sad or a happy face. Maybe this person is staring at the smartphone screen, playing, making funny noises, or writing emails. Or the person is relaxed, leaning backwards and looking around. So of course there is a message there. There's a clear message because of the body language. Many more examples to be given. The second is that everything is non-verbal as well, goes together with the first, of course, because you might have heard of the Moravian rule of the main part is body language, tone of voice, and only 7-8% is the word. This is not absolutely correct, because this was based on a study which is actually a long story, but not relevant to the way it's used right now. But fact is that it's not just the words we're using, it's the tone of voice. And it's the way we are using our voice, our hands, our expression, our body. If you lean forward or if you go backwards, it's a different kind of communication. One might be aggressive or like straightforward, like I know exactly who I am and what I want to do. And the other one might be a bit more introverted, or I'm not sure at the moment, maybe I need some help. And you can address this as well. It's the way this person is communicating with you, but it's the way you are communicating towards other people as well. And then the third part. What is it about this reaction? Well, we are always quite busy thinking that the other person started. I wouldn't have done that if he wouldn't have said so. And yes, I'm doing that, but just because he never exchanged the paper in the copy machine, so I'm doing it. Okay, kind of communication. I'm reacting on something. If somebody is leaning forward or is kind of aggressive, I'm reacting on this style, on this communication style. And even with just this moment, I'm reacting on it. I either feel intimidated and so like, yes. I'll have loads of questions, but I won't ask them because I feel intimidated. But I feel I'm reacting. It's not that I feel in that situation, it's my choice to feel intimidated. No, I feel that I'm reacting in this kind of a situation. So this communication is felt by the person as a reaction. More or less clear? And I would suggest that you think about it more closely and maybe pay more attention to these thoughts in situations in your everyday life. So long. Sign up for my YouTube channel. There are going to be much more of these videos coming up. And sign up for my newsletter on lightwingsconsulting.com. Have a nice day.